Alright, so today I'm going to be ranking all the portrait ghosts. This is from Luigi's Mansion 1. And so we're going to be using a couple different factors. I already did a flavor text ranking just by itself. But here I'm encompassing all details. So the weakest category for a lot of them is the mechanics. A lot of them are simple, they don't have too many mechanics. But that plays one part. Personality is interesting, and I'll actually be reading not only the flavor text, but the heart text too. That can sometimes tell you something like this. I love the cold, I just plain love it. And also taking into account their appearance and stuff too. And their role maybe in the mansion, or what they like to do, so the glutton likes to eat, they all have a favorite task they do. Let's get them in order first. So you start with Neville, you go to Lydia, here. That picture for Lydia is crazy, what is that from? Lydia, and then the baby, and then you go into the Rolindas, I think are next, right? They're the immediate next one. And then you go to, these are going to be later obviously. This one comes a little bit later. She's before him. She's obviously after. He's one of the last. Or before Van Gore, although you can technically do it after. This is last one before Bogmeyer. Right here. This one almost doesn't count because it's just a dog. It's almost unfair, but we'll still do it. Bulassis right here. These ones are the first of the fourth area. This one is from Nana's room, right? You go from there to there. This I don't really remember actually. What key leads to Biff Allen? Whatever, it's around that third area, right around there. This guy is in the fourth area before Eskimo guy. It's obviously the last one. She's right at the end of area 3 to get to Bulassis. And she is before Nana, right around there. She is before the Melody. He has her key for some reason. And this is Brimley or whatever in the blackout area. So it would be right after Bulassis. And of course I used all the art terms in keeping with Van Gore and the painting theme of the whole game. Although we won't be taking the appearance of the paintings into consideration too much, but we may as well look at them. So, as far as Neville, let's go ahead and get these up here. First of all, we can see these are pretty unique. Like, I didn't know this was supposed to be, which one? Van Gore. I don't think of that as being Van Gore at all. I didn't know who that was supposed to be. That's supposed to be Chauncey, that's supposed to be the dog, Neville, Lydia, Nana, Mr. Werlinda. I guess. I don't really see it. I guess it depends which room they're in as to who they're supposed to be depicting. Henry or Orville, you can't even tell which. Sue P. Let's go ahead. Neville the bookish father. Oh, he's 42. He spends his afterlife reading all the books he missed while living. Ho ho ho, go ahead, try to find me, I can see you, but you cannot see me, ho ho ho. So his personality is pretty laid back, he's just chilling reading books. You kind of attack him for no reason in a lot of cases with these. They're not really doing anything to you. The whole book aspect is cool, that's pretty much the only mechanic he gets. The books come flying at you and hit you, that's basically it. So mechanics are simplistic. Personality is decent, I like the laid back attitude, and I love the flavor text. So that gets a couple spots, I guess. Like right in the middle slot, perhaps. Main weakness is mechanics. Flavor text is good, personality is good, laid back, he just wants to read books. And that even ties into the mechanics that the books are the ones that hit you. So, not bad. This one I criticized comparatively. So she's 34, the mirror-gazing mother. She stashed her secret savings away to prepare for her long afterlife. So while he just wants to read in his afterlife, she's so materialistic, she wants money and you can't even spend it in the afterlife, but she still wants it. So that's I don't rate that too highly. This is the flavor text and this is the hard text. Look how long that is too. Isn't my hair gorgeous? Of course, I do spend a lot of time on it. I was so bored cooped up in that painting. Now I spend all my time in front of the mirror. Seems to scare people though, so everything is coming up roses. So she likes that she scares people. So she's very petty, superficial. She doesn't have any mechanics at all, really. The way that you uncover her is just making the wind blow at her from the window. So she's one of the weaker ones, and like I said, the superficial aspect I don't really think looks too good on you in the afterlife, let's just say that. So I'll put her at the bottom. Weak personality, weak mechanics, weak flavor text. Materialism does not look good on you in the afterlife. His aspiration is at least something personal that defines him. You know, he likes reading. We can respect that. Same thing could be applied to anything else. Like you're a fan of games, you'd want to play all the games you missed in life in the afterlife. Or movies, you want to watch all the movies you missed. So Chauncey, let's go right across in order. So he's 1 year old or less, technically. He cries loudly and never sleeps through the night, but since he was born a ghost, this seems natural. Like commented before, the only reason they put that in there is because they didn't want to get in trouble, like, oh, look, you're putting a dead baby in the game. It still technically is a dead baby, it's just he was never born, technically, so he couldn't die. But apparently Neville and Lydia had him after they died and became ghosts, interestingly. His heart quote is, "Horsey, Rocky, horsey." But this is pretty weak, stay away. This is a pretty weak thing. This is, like I said, just protecting themselves from liability, breaking the fourth wall almost. And this is just a mechanic. Mechanic is okay, it's a boss fight, so you get a little credit for that, but it's almost obligatory. He throws balls at you, he throws the horses at you. I'm going to give him that spot too. Slightly better because he is a boss, but of all the bosses, no, you know what, just the mechanics are strong enough, and it's unfair because any boss is going to have them, but he's still weak. Flavor text is weak, it's just, again, explaining, oh, he was born while he was a ghost, and then hard text is just telling you what to do as far as the mechanics, so I don't like that either, nothing special. But then again, what do you expect from a baby? So their age is unknown, which is interesting. Floating Rolinda's the dancing couple. Once the local waltz champions, they can no longer compete since their feet don't touch the floor. So I do like that one, that's pretty funny. That was one of my favorite flavor texts actually from the whole game when I did that ranking before. So that's a plus. The mechanic is kind of non-existent. You kind of just have to spin on the thing on the platform and then eventually they do a move and then you can suck them. So mechanics is a 0. Flavor text is very good. Let's see what the heart quotes are. I don't think this gent can even see us. So you see me? Well, that may be, but you will never find my weakness. Let's show him how we dance. Let's show him how we dance. 3DS. Why is that different? It's the same thing. Either way, they're proud of dancing, so nothing great. He's a little bit cocky that you can't catch him, so I guess I like that. So we'll put that in the right here. Again, they have a passion that they're actually about something at least, which is, in this case, reading, in this case, dancing. So you get a little credit for that, and the flavor text is very good. Shivers the Wandering Butler, he's 72. I didn't realize he was that old. Thought he was 60 something. He wanders the house endlessly searching for his master's well. He hopes he's included in it. And he's also kind of got a thing for melody. Oh yeah, it says it right here. So the flavor text is decent, not bad, but not great. Beautiful melody will not even give me the time of day. What must I do to win her passion? Passion, yes, that's it. I will show her I burn for her. My unbridled passion will scorch her soul. And then you light his candle. The burning flames of unbridled passion. Or wait, how about the passionate flames of unbridled burning? Okay, I don't think I've ever seen that one actually. So you'd have to read his heart after it's lit. So you do his work for him. He was going to say he's going to light him up, but you do it for him. His mechanic is a little bit unique in that you have to do something in a hallway and you chase him through a room. So that one's okay, but he doesn't like fight you or do anything. And his flavor text is good. I like that. So he's kind of just one of those average ones. He likes melody. He's got a lot of things going on. He's not great, but I'll give him a middle slot, like amateur. Better than the baby, despite the boss mechanics. So next is the one he was lusting after, Melody. And they even call her beautiful in that. The beautiful pianist. Pianissima. 26, very young. So imagine a 72-year-old lusting after a 26-year-old. That's odd. Even in death. Despite playing moving melodies, she has a surly disposition. Oddly enough, she loves video games. So that's because she plays the Mario songs or whatever that you have to guess. So that's fine. That's very unique interest that she has. This ragamuffin looks as if he couldn't play a note. I guess that is true. Show him the power of my genius, or of genius, my music. She's very proud of her music abilities, and she's very condescending there. I didn't know she's quite like that. That's part of her surly disposition. Personality I like. She kind of has that two-faced aspect. She's plays nice music, but she's kind of a jerk in a way. Very aggressive and rude, but I like that. Forceful. Mechanics are simple. Music sheets, thematic. Basically the same as Neville with the book coming after you, except here is music sheets. So flavor text is decent. I'll give her kind of same as Neville rating. Is she better or worse? It's about the same. I guess she has a bit more depth to her personality with the contrast between her music, video games, and being surly and kind of a jerk. More so than I even thought. Let's go to the next one is Mr. Lugs. This is a huge one. Apparently he's optional too, but I always forget that because I always just do him anyway. Mr. Lugs the Glutton. What was she called again? Oh, she's called the Beautiful Pianist. Okay, that's kind of an unnecessary detail, but he's a glutton. He's only age 30, but you couldn't tell by looking at him. You'd have to just guess. He doesn't look like any particular age. And he prefers all-you-can-eat buffets to 3 meals a day. He ate himself to death, but he still wasn't satisfied. So this was my top rating for flavor text, so it would be no surprise that he's going to get a very high rating. That's an amazingly well-written piece of flavor text. It's dark, it's true to his nature. Very dark for a game that really is meant for more younger audiences, even kids. So I'm surprised it got through, but I'm glad it did. It's a great, great line. And what's the heart text? No one can see me in this darkness. No one, no one, no one. Okay, that's not very good. And it's only dark because the candles aren't lit, so that's not a very strong thing. Mechanically, he has some complexity too. You have to keep sucking up his food and suck up the waitresses who refill it. So you might not think that's too deep, but compared to most of these that don't have any mechanics or very light mechanics, that's actually a lot. You have to do one thing actively, suck his food, light the candles is minor, but then the waitresses keep coming quicker and quicker, so you either have to suck them or flash them away. So he wins a lot on mechanics and on flavor text. Not so much on personality, he's just saying, oh, it's dark, but that's fine. And I won't even count the 3DS ones. But it's so bright, everyone can see me eat. I don't care, I'll just keep eating. So yeah, only thing that's bad is his personality. He likes food. That's pretty much all there is. But he still gets a masterpiece slot because again, that flavor text is legendary. And his mechanics are deeper than most of these. I mean, just compare it outright. Music sheets versus waitresses. Food sucking versus guessing the songs, right? So you both have 2 mechanics each. This one is just basically the books attack you, so that's only 1. This is basically nothing, just stand on the circular platform and suck them. This guy only has 1, just light his candle and follow him. This again is a boss, so it almost is unfair, but you rock the horse and then you have to dodge all his attacks, so it's almost unfair to rate that, but it's not the greatest. And then she just has the window, so a lot of those mechanics are simplistic. That's why his might not seem that good, but it's better than most. Let's do the dog. Spooky the Hungry Guard Dog. Age 4. This creepy canine will sink its chops into any seemingly edible thing in sight. So that's a pretty basic description. It's a dog that likes to eat things. Heart quote is woof woof woof. So again, this one's unfair because it's a dog. What am I supposed to do with that? Not much personality. Mechanics are okay with sucking up the bone guy, leaving him a bone literally, and then when he's distracted you can suck him, so that's okay. Flavor text is pretty basic, nothing funny or interesting about it. So we're gonna go just under Lydia, pretty much not much to him. Only thing that's decent is the mechanic. Even she has more personality than a dog, at least, if that's a compliment, because she's materialistic and superficial. Not that those are good traits, but it's not so much whether they're good or not, it's just whether there's something to her, which there's not much. So this is Bogmeyer, the cemetery shadow, or the black shadow of the graveyard. I don't know why they changed that. Seems fine either way. The bosses, of course, don't have hard text unless they're like the baby out in the overworld, which only the baby is, right? I don't think you can look at King Boo before you talk to him. Like, he doesn't have a heart, obviously. Boo's don't. So age unknown, product of the mansion's fear and despair. He's not sure who to fear or what to despair these days. I thought it was what to despair of these days. They might have mistyped it here. But okay, that's not much personality. Mechanics are okay. Even for a boss, they're mediocre. Just suck up the duplicates and throw them at him and suck him. That's it. This is supposed to be, I guess, funny, but it's just kind of okay. Not much. So I'm not crazy about that one. That could go here, I guess. These are for... They get that much of a bonus just because they're bosses, I guess. But even he's mechanically simplistic, so I don't know if he even deserves that. I'll put him there. No personality, simple mechanics, mediocre flavor text. Let's go to Biff Atlas, bodybuilder, 26. This kind, he's kind, okay. Bodybuilder loves muscles and lilies. Why lilies? They symbolize purity. So, again, that's kind of garbage, but it's just trying to show you he has a soft side. Look at this buffness, I'm huge. How'd you like to be my punching bag weakling? He doesn't seem very kind there. So I guess a bit of a contrast. Mechanically, he has some decent mechanics. The way he attacks you is pretty unique. He comes after you very quickly and does his punching motion. He hits a lot. And you have to use the punching bags against him. So mechanics are decent. Personality is meh. Flavor text is meh. So let's do like right here. I guess right in the bottom tier. Again, nothing really that stands out. He's just a bodybuilder. He has the soft side for contrast, so I guess that's worth something. And I guess the mechanics, like I said, aren't terrible. So let's put him there. It's just kind of all mediocre. Nothing's great about it. Let's do Petunia, the bathing beauty. I don't know about that part. Unknown age. Miss Ghost runner-up from 6 years ago. She hasn't had much modeling work lately, so she gained weight. That's her joke. I don't know why she's still called that, though. A piping hot shower. That's it. That's all we get. So that's garbage. So she has no personality. Flavor text is okay, just like she got fat. That's a joke. Mechanically simple, just to throw ice on her. So she's one of those passable, just like who cares. Flavor text is decent. Mechanics are not too good. Nothing really to it. Personality is non-existent. Not much there. Nana, the scarf knitting granny. That picture is weird. It won't even show up. Look at that picture. What is that supposed to be? Can't even see her. So she's the oldest character so far that we know the age of. 72 was the Butler. She's still knitting the scarf she never finished in life. It now stretches to 871 feet. So I thought that was pretty funny. I do like that one. It ties in with what you'd expect, like her cliche, oh, I like books, or oh, I like knitting. But then it goes somewhere that's actually funny. Hey, it's a funny man. Should I play with him? So she's kind of jovial. And then she has like the laser beams for eyes. You have to throw the balls at her. So mechanically it's decent. And actually one of the better ones mechanically. The way she attacks you is very unique. So good mechanics. Even that's kind of humorous that she has laser eye beams. That was like out of nowhere. So good personality, good flavor text, good mechanics. So she's one of the better ones that, based on that, definitely memorable. I guess, again, her mechanics are complex. Her personality, especially with that, you know, she's not even mad at you. She's just saying, oh, it's a funny guy, I should play with him. And flavor text, yeah, I'm good with that. I wasn't expecting to put her there, but I guess it makes sense. Limb bang shot, lonely pull shark. And then lone competitor 3DS. I don't know why they changed some of these things. 29. He's a legend in the world of competitive pool. Too bad he's never played a living soul. Now that I found kind of odd because, you know, it's supposed to be funny or whatever, but it's like, how is he a legend if he's never played a game? Like, a legend amongst who? Maybe in the ghost world or something. It's just supposed to be funny, but it seems to kind of contradict itself, and it's just stupid. So that flavor text is garbage. Personality, you want some of this, not much there. Mechanics are good. Mechanics are very good. You have to catch the ball and hit him. It's simple, but again, pretty unique. There's nothing else in the game that really works that way. So he gets a little point just for the mechanics, but not much else. Maybe even, but he has no personality at all. Like I said, the flavor text is garbage. So whatever. I guess just aiming the ball is itself a real experience. Maybe that's not fair even, but it's still more than opening a window, dropping a bone, shooting ice. And this, again, bosses are rated a bit more harshly because they have an advantage inherently. Henry and Orville, the twin brothers, the shy twin brothers. Okay. Twins like to play hide and seek, but since they both hide, the game never seems to end. Smash Gua. So that personality, non-existent. This one's okay. They're kind of just okay. Mechanics are good. Actually, some of the better mechanics because you have to deal with both of them at once. That's unique. One's riding a plane, dropping bombs. One's riding on the ground in like a Hummer or something like that. And the mechanic of having to play hide and seek and cheat in order to find them. So I do give them high marks for mechanics. No personality though, and no decent flavor text, right? They just play hide and seek and they're ghosts. We get it. A lot of the text is just, hey, did you know they're ghosts, by the way? That's the joke. The joke is they're ghosts. Like, we get it. That's why this one's so impressive. It has nothing to do with him being a ghost. He ate himself to death. Like, that's a personality thing. That was his choice. That's just who he is. To Madame Clairvoya, the freaky fortune teller. I don't know what's so freaky about her, but unknown age. Her close connection to the spirit world lets her see nearly 49 days into the future. So that is a funny one. Mocking her abilities. Destiny chooses our path. That's not bad. So she has a lot of personality just because she stays around for a long time. I wouldn't say it's like a great one, but just gives her an advantage that way. Mechanics, she doesn't have any mechanics. You just suck her when she's ready to be sucked. Giving her items, I guess, is a mechanic, but pretty simple. So not much for mechanics. Little bonus for personality, but she has the advantage of sticking around for much of the game, pretty much. First 3 chapters. Flavor text is decent. So she's upper, probably, or bottom avant-garde would be good. Like, let me compare to them. Their mechanics were non-existent. Flavor text is really good, and their personality is decent. So she's probably a little better. No mechanics, good flavor text, semi-good personality. I guess I'm punishing her just because she appears so much, so it's almost like she had a chance that others didn't. He doesn't say anything really. They don't say much. She talks to you a lot. I guess that's fine. Ulasis the Jumbo Ghost. That's a pretty sick piece of artwork. Where does that appear? 3DS, but where? That's not the portrait. Big Boo. That's kind of spoilers that he's in that. I didn't even know that. Shit. But where's the flavor text? Does he not have any? Oh, it's here. Why'd they show me that then? Alright. Ulasis the Jumbo Ghost, unknown age. When the shy, timid boos get together, their body and their attitude get big. Life 15 boos. So there's no hard text. So there's not a ton of personality here. Mechanics, most people find annoying. They're kind of laughably simplistic. The only hard part is when you get them down to 1 or 2, the camera zooms in like crazy and they start to kind of troll you because you can't see them, so you just have to keep spinning and they keep hiding. So it's not hard, it's just annoying. So poor mechanics, pretty basic flavor text, just basic exposition, not much personality. So that's going to be one of the lower ones. Still better than the dog, I guess. Probably right with Bogmeyer. maybe behind. Not really much to either of them. Flavor text is bland. Mechanics are basic. Not much there. Now we get Grimly. Uncle Grimly. Hermit of Darkness. That's a pretty badass title, I will say that. The Hermit of the Darkness. That's really necessary. He's only 45. Doesn't he look a lot older than that? I swear he looks at least 60. He does not look 45. Adrift in the darkness, he tends to keep to himself, which suits the rest of the family just fine. So they don't like him. He's like that annoying uncle, I guess. Nobody will find me because I'm old, cranky, and by gum, people are afraid of me. So he's giving himself credit that he might not deserve. They're not afraid, they just don't care about you. He has a bit of personality. No mechanics, unless you consider the blackout his mechanic, but that's not really his doing. He just happens to be there. I guess he only appears because it's that dark, so he's a little better at hiding than everyone. So maybe a little credit for mechanics and personality. The mechanic being the blackout itself. Flavor text is okay, so he's one of those middle of the pack types. Like right here would be fine. Not spectacular, but not terrible. I love his title too, Hermit of Darkness. Oh no, it says the Darkness there too. It should just be Hermit of Darkness. He tends to keep to himself, so it's making fun that they don't want to deal with him. That's decent. And he's giving himself credit that he doesn't deserve. I like that. So weakest part is mechanics. I'm probably giving him a little too much credit for them, but it's fine. Clockwork Soldiers. Unknown age. The Toy Platoon. They once belonged to a tightly wound toy collector. Oh, good one. But they now march on their own without any winding. Okay, that's kind of good on 2 points. The fact that they overcame their limitations in life, and tightly wound is a nice little pun there. So I like that flavor text actually quite a bit. There is a bit of depth to that. The valve, squeak, squeak, hey, stop looking at me. Okay, so that's garbage. So there's no personality. Flavor text is good. Mechanics are okay. You just take off their little wind up and then you suck them. So I do like the tightly wound toy collector. I mean, good one. The mechanics are simple, but everything else is good. Or mechanics are simple, personality is a little. Why is this guy better than them? Flavor text is good. Personality is good, but their mechanics are so good that they almost deserve a little better spot. That's fine. So let's skip Soupy for now. We'll do it because she's the one of the last ones you realistically do. Jarvis the Jar Collector. The Pot Collector. Oh, that's making it less kid friendly. You don't want that. Unknown age. He loves his antique jars so much that he now lives in one. He can hardly contain himself. Okay, some of these are really good. I didn't remember that one. Go back to the woods boil. So he doesn't say anything in the original, apparently. He doesn't have a ton of personality. He's just proud of his pots. Mechanically, it is sophisticated. You have to play the little guessing game, keep shooting him with ice. Again, it might not seem like that much, but compared to most of these who don't have any mechanics or very basic mechanics, that gets a big plus. And I do like that. So we'll give him kind of a middling spot, kind of like right there. He likes pots, mechanics are great, flavor text is good. Maybe ahead of them, I suppose. Now we get the Iceman, Sir Weston, the Chilly Climber. Age only 30, he looks much older to me. The strange fellow's icy abode may be the reason he hasn't warmed up to being a ghost. Okay. Darn, I love the cold. I mean, I just plain love it. But then he likes it, so that's kind of at odds. And the mechanics are good. The ice stack delights or whatever, the things on the roof keep hitting you. They hit quite a bit. You just have to burn his little ice cube. He likes the ice, so not much personality. Good mechanics. Okay flavor text. So he's just kind of okay. I compare him to the billiards guy. The mechanic is good and not much else. So maybe he's like right around there. Flavor text is okay. Pretty much just a mechanic heavy ghost. He relies on the mechanics completely. Now we get back to Sue P. Because it's optional, so that's why I waited a little bit. Sue P, the dozing girl, age 7. What was meant to be a short nap seems to have turned into eternal rest for sweet Sue P. That's kind of dark, so she just died in her sleep when she thought she was just taking a nap. That's very, again, one of the darker ones, so I have to give it credit. That's not just a gimmick like, oh, she likes taking naps. I won't wet the bed, I promise. Okay, so that's a little funny, I suppose. The personality is not much. Flavor text is exemplary. Mechanics are interesting, at least visually. She's upside down. You have to... I forget, what do you even have? Oh, you have to wet the bed, so that's the clue. And then she throws like little dolls and stuff at you. So mainly it's the flavor text. Personality is not much. Mechanics are okay. But that flavor text is great, so I'll have to give a good spot. And I am distinguishing like each tier too, like he's better than her, kind of like that. So within their own tier, they have lists of their own. So again, she's all the way up here just pretty much because of flavor text. Mechanics are little minor plus, but that's like 1.5 spaces she's up just for the flavor text, and then half a space for mechanics, I suppose. And Van Gore, now this is a huge one. Really the best one in the game from a overall standpoint. Let's look at it. The Starving Artist, Van Gore. Even the name is amazing. Very clever. 59 years old. Despite failing to sell... Actually, hold on. Vincent Van Gogh. Death age. 37. Okay. It would have been cool if they made him the same age as he actually was. But whatever. Despite failing to sell a single painting in 30 years, the stubborn man refuses to let his art die. So that's decent. How does he grasp the power? Oh, now does he grasp the power of creation? So he's passionate about art. Nothing too great there. The mechanics are top notch because you have to deal with the whole room. 7 paintings of 3 or 5 ghosts each, depending on Hidden Mansion. So the mechanics are off the charts. Actually better than most bosses. Flavor text is decent. Personality is okay. So he's up there. Seems like a shame not to give him a masterpiece tier. Mainly on the strength of the mechanics. Again, he's passionate about art, not much personality there. Flavor text. It's almost like he doesn't quite deserve it. Just those mechanics are so good though. That's kind of a tough one actually. His flavor text, he hasn't sold a painting in 30 years. He won't let his art die. Does he appreciate my art? So that's not much there. It's all just on the strength of the mechanics. See, this is multiple. His mechanics are deep, complex, at least compared to most of these. Flavor text is great, so he's only lacking one, which is personality. Her mechanics are good. Her personality is there because she's, again, not even mad at you for being there. She wants to play with you, that kind of thing. Her flavor text was good too, 871 feet. She's stitched her yarn too. These have strength of all categories. He only has his mechanics to fall back on. Bowser and King Boo. So they won't even let you look at that, will they? Does it even have like a portrait ghost thing? I don't know how this actually works. How about just show me in this? It's a nice painting though. Bowser and King Boo, the dastardly duo. King of Boos. Unknown age. Nothing is known about this mysterious entity. I mean, I think a lot is known. The giant boot adorned with a crown. It's hard at work on other evil plans involving other boos. That's only in the 3DS. There's really not much there. You could give King Boo a little credit for his personality, and you can give a lot of credit for the mechanics. Obviously, the best boss fight in the game. But the flavor text is non-existent, so we'll put it right around the middle here, like right ahead of that. Yeah, not much personality. King Boo, if you like him, you like him. You don't even talk to him too much. But again, the mechanics carry it despite all the other lacking. So that's kind of like the Van Gore category. That was a fun little list to do. So just to recap on the top 2 who made it there and why they made it there. I can't believe that's supposed to be Van Gore. It doesn't look like him at all. I mean, especially since he's the one who probably made it. He probably does all the paintings. So we got the Glutton in the top spot, just to review. And I wasn't expecting him, but actually Nana managed to steal a top spot. So again, his personality is lacking, but this is a great piece of flavor text. He prefers all you can eat buffets to 3 meals a day. He ate himself to death, but still wasn't satisfied. Very dark, very deep. Goes way beyond just a gimmick that he likes food. It's so bright. This was weak. This part was weak. So again, it's carried by flavor text and mechanics. Mechanics, again, you have to suck his food. That's an active thing which keeps replenishing. You have to deal with the waitresses. So there's quite a bit there. Definitely one of the better portrait ghosts. And then Nana, bit of a surprise. She's still knitting the scarf she never finished in life. So again, that's pretty basic. That's like, oh, she likes knitting. But the little joke is now stretches to 871 feet is a good one. That's pretty funny. And then her personality shines through. She wants to play with you instead of being like, oh, get out of here, I'm gonna kill you kind of thing. And then mechanics are good. She shoots laser beams from her eyes. She's moving around in her chair. You have to hit her with the balls. So there's a bit to it. So that's all well-rounded. Top spots. Pretty good. Pretty good. Are there any that I take issue with? We just justified those two. Again, he's more mechanic heavy, not much personality. Flavor text isn't great. So again, more of a one trick, but it's a strong mechanic. She's a little more balanced. They're all pretty good. Her personality's good. She has the two sides, surly versus nice music. Mechanics are okay. Having to guess the song is technically a mechanic along with the fighting the music sheets. Yeah, so she's good. Flavor text is good, right? What was it again? Despite having a surly disposition, and she likes video games, so not bad. Again, this is all mechanic based, not much personality. Flavor text is garbage, but the mechanics are amazing. Obviously, boss fight advantage though. She, again, I'm not impressed by her personality too much, but at least she has plenty of chances to endear you to it, so that gives her something, even though it's an unfair advantage to a lot of these. No mechanics at all, and flavor text was, she can see exactly 49 days into the future, so that was pretty funny. That's decent. Jarvis, he likes jars. The mechanics are good. You have to play the guessing game. That's decent. Personality is mediocre. Flavor text was okay. Had the little joke that he can't contain himself, so it's not bad. Neville, he likes to read. That's pretty much his whole thing. Mechanics, just the books hitting you. Not much there. So his personality is okay, kind of laid back. So not great, not terrible. He's one of the middling ones. The Werlinda's not much mechanically. Flavor text is funny. Their feet no longer touch the ground, so they can't compete. And then personality, not much. They're just proud of their dancing. Her flavor text is actually really good. Sue P. Looks like she's underwater. I guess it's just supposed to be you wetting her bed. That sounds kind of weird. But he died in her sleep, so that's a bit dark in terms of the flavor text angle. She doesn't have much personality. Mechanics are okay, at least they look cool, kind of like an exorcist encounter. And she throws all those dolls and stuff at you. You have to wet her bed. Nothing too crazy, but definitely the flavor text carries that one. Again, good mechanics, you have to deal with both of them on those vehicles at once. Not much personality. Flavor text wasn't very good. They play hide and seek, that's pretty much it. Grimly, whatever. He has a decent personality. He thinks he's scarier than he is. Flavor text was good. Nobody really wants to deal with him in the family, in the house, you know. Mechanics are the weak point. If he actually had a good set of mechanics, he'd be probably a lot higher. Tightly wound toy collector. Flavor text was decent. Mechanics are pretty good, actually, the way they attack too, I didn't mention. With their little bayonets. And then personality is non-existent, so that's the weak point. Mechanics are okay, not great. Flavor text is probably the best part. So kind of balanced, but leaning more on the mediocre side. He's obsessed with melody. He wants to know if he's in his master's will. So those are some decent personality traits. His flavor text reveals the will part. Mechanics, not really much, just light as fire, follow him. So mechanics is the weak point. The other two are pretty good. For a boss, kind of weak. I hold that against him. Not much personality. Good mechanics, but again, bosses have that advantage. Not great though, even compared to the other bosses. Flavor text was garbage. Just saying, oh, he didn't die, he was born a ghost. So Biff Atlas, he likes lilies, he has a soft side, so I guess that's a little bit of personality, and that's basically all the flavor text gives you. Mechanics are decent, so it's kind of just decent and decent. His personality has a little bit to it, mechanics have a little bit to it, flavor text just exposes a little bit, so not much. This is the Eskimo dude. Not much personality, he just likes the cold, he doesn't like fire, so not much there. Mechanically, it is somewhat sophisticated. You have to deal with the ice on the ground, you have to deal with the spikes falling, so good mechanics. Pretty much the only good thing flavor text was just he can't warm up to being a ghost, so not great. And then the Billiards guy, kind of a contradictory flavor text. He's a legend, but he also has never played a living soul, so who's he a legend with? I know it's supposed to be funny, but it's got to make a little bit of sense. And then he just says, want to see what I got, or something like that from his heart, so not much personality. Mechanically is the only good thing, really. So he's almost bottom tier. His mechanics are, you got to catch the ball and hit him with it. So that's pretty much it. But I do consider that to be pretty high marks. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be here. That's still a unique mechanic, the way they bounce off the wall and stuff. You have to aim it pretty well. Bogmeyer, flavor text is bland. Fight is okay, mechanics aren't anything special. And remember, I go a bit harder on bosses because they have the advantage of being longer fights. And no personality, so just bland. Not much personality here. Mechanics are kind of just boring. Just suck him into the horse unicorn's spike on his head and just freeze them, suck them. Not much there. Only reason it's hard is because of a stupid camera decision. And then flavor text was boring, like just the cowardly boos become strong in numbers, kind of. And then Petunia is going to be not much personality there. She's just saying she likes a nice hot shower. Mechanics, there's really no mechanics, just throw ice on her. Flavor text, she used to be Miss Ghost, or runner-up for Miss Ghost, and then she went into depression and got fat. So I guess that's a nice little joke, but nothing too memorable. Lydia, she's superficial. She stashed away money for the afterlife. She cares about her looks. They were both things which don't really matter in the afterlife and don't really make sense. So I think they intend for her to not be that highly regarded. She embodies all those kind of worldly things which don't matter in the afterlife, especially. Mechanics, you just gotta open the window. So yeah, very, very basic. And of course the dog, it's almost unfair, but not much personality. Mechanics, just suck the guy up, drop the bone. That's decent, but not much. And flavor text is stupid. He just sinks his teeth into anything edible in sight. As if that's supposed to be clever or well written.